And with all of this in mind, we'll go into the fray once more. Let me see, though. I saw this recently. Okay, I think we can do this, Ethan. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do a lottery simulator before May 13th. We still got a couple weeks to do that.
Come on, baby. Big money, big money.
Dang it. Oh, this is the worst. This is the worst outcome.
New Orleans at 1. Poor Cooper. That's all right. We'll get him in 10 years.
This was made for this video for sure.
We'll trade for him.
The fact that New Orleans just won the lottery. Oh man.
There he goes. Rip Coop.
I'm so glad I did the lottery simulator. That was meant to be.
Oh, come on at 5.
Mm-hmm. Derek Queen off the board too.
Right before us. Oh, here's your boy. We haven't talked about him yet, but there he is.
But Con Newple's here too. And our guy Robert Ball in the comments says Newple at 8.
Knipple. He's never gonna get it.
I just look at it and I think that it's Knipple. We literally said that last episode. Okay, I do think this is a real genuine conversation though, and actually I think this could be a real genuine conversation in real life with Kasparis and Con here, Ethan. I kind of want to go with Kasparis, even though we haven't really dove into him that much, just to switch things up. But I'm going to give this pick to you, Ethan. What do you want to do if you're Brian Wright here?
As someone who's watched very little Kasparis highlight tape, man.
To answer your question, M-Easy, Juan Nunez.
Because we have the GOAT Juan Nunez waiting in their wings for the point guard position down the road. Let's give Con Knipple the 8th overall pick.
This is going to be so funny after next week when we break down Kasparis and maybe have a different take. But maybe we'll have the same take after talking about Kasparis. But regardless, we've talked about Con Knipple's fit in SA, him being, a potential 3-and-D guy. As much as, the defense will need some work when he gets into the league, he's somebody who can immediately come in and be a rotation player and be that guy that Wemby can kick it out to and be a sniper. And he also has shown flashes off the ball, on the ball, handling the ball as a playmaker as well. I know it's only 2.7 assists there, but if you go watch some Con this year, you'll see some ball handling flashes that maybe the Spurs could work on.
Hey, we got our white boy.
There you go.
It's him and Mamu.
Rip Zach.
Yeah, Rip Zach. We needed one more swaggy white boy.
Swaggy P.
Swaggy P. Oh,
Sorber went right before us there. But in this situation, Ethan, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up again. And this is just going to give us an idea of what the roster looks like. Mm-hmm. Obviously, on that first pick, we picked Con. So you can look at that bottom row and formulate it however you want. Still, backup center. It's the glaring hole, the biggest glaring hole. And there really aren't that many options. Danny Wolf is on the board. So let me stop.
Don't tempt your boy.
But we got some other options as well here, Ethan. I don't think we want to go Liam McNeely because obviously that would be redundant. So this again goes back to Jace Richardson. That's somebody else that we've picked in drafts before. We got Noah Sengi. See that the Fanspo consensus has him as number 17. So maybe I was wrong earlier. Rasheer Fleming is another name that people have talked about. Ben Saraf could be another name as well, but obviously again with Con probably not in the picture. So when I look at this one, I mean, you do have Igor Demon if you really just want to go full point guard there. But I see Jace Richardson, Nolan Traore, and honestly, Danny Wolf.
Listen, your boy loves Danny Wolf. I'm also not mad with an Igor Demon here either.
And I think it's Demon. I've been saying Demon this whole time. Again, on me there. It's Igor Demon.
I'm not mad with Igor. Let's just ignore his last name. Igor, I'm fine with. Because we have a guy who I think is more of a sure thing at 8.
Mm-hmm.
This is our project. This is our chance to get it says shooting guard, but I'm going to put him at the backup or even third string point guard to kind of compete with Blake for minutes there.
I know we've talked about in other episodes kind of the cons of Igor, but
Hmm.
ironically, with drafting Khan at 8, it kind of gives us a little bit freedom in this situation. And maybe this would be a pick if it came to this scenario where the Spurs would trade out. Maybe this is the exact scenario where they look at this, we'll go get somebody else in this trade or in free agency to address this need. But I will say, with addressing, kind of the backup shooting guard position there, you elevate Devin to the 3, move Harrison to the 4 off the bench. Then you have Igor to compete with Blake. That's really the same thing as Jace Richardson. When I
Yep.
say the same thing, I don't mean the same exact player, just the same
Same situation.
competition at point guard. Um, and I think because of drafting Khan, it kind of gives you the freedom to kind of go with an upside pick here.
For sure. Agreed.
Let's go to this final pick here as we wrap up this episode. We appreciate all you guys for hanging out with us and talking Spurs with us today. And we're sorry for the late start. I didn't get to mention that until just now, but just was a long day for you boys. So,
Carter
little,
Bryant goes at 22 to Atlanta.
mhm. Ironically,
Ironically, indeed.
that
Hugo Gonzalez.
would have been cool for him to fall. Adu Thero, I've been seeing a lot more about him, but when I watched him at Arkansas, I kind of saw him as more of like a 5, even though
Hmm.
he's 6'8". So it's interesting that they're listing him as a small forward. I've seen that in other places too.
JT Toppin's been on here every single time, and I talked to my coworker, or really
Hmm.
superior, who's a Texas Tech fan, and he's saying that he's going back to Tech. So I guess maybe this is slightly outdated.
Well, Yaxel is also going to Michigan.
Oh,
So
there you
there
go.
you go. Yeah, a lot of these second round guys, we've got some comments about this recently, and it's just with the transfer portal now, like you can enter the portal and the draft at the same time, so it
Mhm.
just makes this second round like really murky. Um, but here, let's
You
see,
know what?
Ethan. I mean, go ahead.
I just see that Robert Ball mentioned him in the comments. My guy Ryan Kalkbrenner from Creighton, 7'1". Maybe he's the solution.
You know what? Actually, okay. See, there's Kalkbrenner, but there's also
Hmm.
Joan Barringer, and I've been seeing a lot of people talk about him. And like, I saw this recently, and this was like, again, I can't remember exactly who it was. It might have been from The Ringer. It might have been Kevin O'Connor. It might have not been any of them. But I saw somebody say, like a legit draft person, make the comparison: is Joan Barringer that different from like Kaman Malwatch? And I think we've had some people saying that in the comments, over the past couple weeks. And obviously, when I look at the draft rankings and just try to look at this as a layperson, I kind of dismiss that initially. And I would still say, I'm gonna trust these guys over myself. Not to say they get everything right, but I'm still gonna go with Kaman
Hmm.
Malwatch's upside. I do think that Joan Barringer is a conversation here as well. I haven't really watched
Me
him enough
neither.
to know. I've actually probably watched more Ryan Kalkbrenner just from Creighton games that I've seen over
Mm.
the years. So just because of that, we'll go
We're
with him
double
here,
dipping
Ethan.
at white boy, swagged out white boy times two. You know what? Those are some actually nasty numbers. 19 and 9 on 65% from the field. Like, hey man, I'll take that. Now time to watch some tape. I've never actually seen my guy play.
He's 22 as well. He looks a lot skinnier than 270 from what I've seen when I've
Yeah.
watched him. That's what I'll say.
Is
Um, but
I say, is
go ahead.
this our who were the white boy brothers? They're Olympic volleyball players now. They played in Indiana. They set hard screens and they were kind of dirty.
I don't know. I have
Hands
no
bros. This
clue.
is our hands bro. This is our no.
Bill Lambier. I
This
mean,
is
I don't know.
our Tyler Hansbrough, and that's just me speaking with zero
Okay.
idea of how he plays actually, but that's in my mind, that's who this is.
Oh my goodness. I think in this scenario, Ethan, with the picks that we made, it was definitely going to be center. And even if this, whoever ends up getting picked here, if it was Joan or if it was Kalkbrenner, even if those guys end up being a two-way, we literally have 0 centers on the roster on contract other than Victor. So
Mm.
I think this was definitely going with the center there was probably the way to go. But I just
Rocco.
saw Maxime. Oh, Rocco, yes, yes. Not to dismiss Rocco. Shout out Rocco. But Maxime, I don't even remember his last name, but he's the center from Stanford. People have been talking about him. He's actually French, but it seems like he's a lot lower. But again, maybe he's not as low as we think because some of these guys in the second round are going back to college.
Not sure, my friend, not sure, but I have some Kalkbrenner highlight tape playing on the left side of my screen right now. Boy's a menace. I'm
What are you
I'm thinking
thinking?
this is just a better version of, who's old boy with Memphis right now, Zach Edey? This is just better Zach Edey, let's be honest.
Better Zach Edey. He's like Zach Edey light. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Shout out to Ryan Kalkbrenner.
He's got some distance on that shot. Yeah, he laced it.
No, yeah, and he played consistently. Like he's not a bad player, that's for sure. But Moides says, "Is there a world where Connect,
Oh, no.
Knipple, and Kalkbrenner all end up on the same team?" Oh my
Oh,
goodness. Well, we would have first of all, we would have needed the Mark Williams trade to go through for maybe there to be some more possibility of
I
that.
would I would make that trade for Connect immediately if we had Knipple and Kalkbrenner.
But here's the thing, though. As much as this is a bit and this is funny, like the Spurs desperately need shooters. Like so, having Connect on the team, like actually would be. I say that, and then there's been times this year where I've freaking complimented Devin and called
Mm.
him a shooter, and now I'm talking about this. So I guess I'm being hypocritical
Is
there. But
Kalkbrenner better than Luke Cornett?
his that see
Is he
that's the
better
question.
now than Luke Cornett? And I think the answer might be yes. This guy's putting in work.
Is he better now than Luke Cornett? Oh my
I
goodness,
am
man.
watching highlights, but then now I'm realizing he's playing against UT RGV. Shout out the Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah. Yeah, who probably doesn't have a player on their team taller
Shout out the
than 6'8".
956.
Shout out, shout out. Oh my goodness. Except for being the Rockets
Right.
affiliate
Yeah,
though.
screw that.
And speaking of the Rockets, Ethan, here's what I'll say. One game, but when let me stop. I can't even say anything after one game. But when we were making the point about the Rockets and being like, "Hey, we're not just doing this because we're being haters." Game 1 was the example of that.
100%.
We appreciate all y'all hanging out with us tonight. Tell us your thoughts in the comments below of what you think of Carter Bryant and Noah Asengay, and also some of your other prospects. Henry Rojas just says, just draft someone who is 6'10". And in a lot of ways, if we can find somebody at the center position who is that, and it fits, that's exactly what the Spurs
Kalkbrenner.
need. Or even at the 4 position as well.
Bring it on,
Kalk.
baby. I'm all for it.
Ethan's number 1 second round prospect is Ryan
I
Kalkbrenner.
just watched him bank
Said
in a
right
3
now,
against Auburn. Come on now. Bro's a menace.
MVP.